Hey everybody, and welcome to the grand finals of Jaraci Cup 13. Once again, I have the honor of casting myself, which is not always the easiest thing to do, but on the bright side, that does mean I know that these games are pretty freaking ridiculous. This is like one of the best finals I think I've ever played or watched for this game, so yeah, this is gonna be quite a thing. Buckle in is what I'm saying. This gets pretty weird. Let's check our info.txt. I have the pick first. I take Galzian. A-game matches with Coalition. Am I hearing like the menu music? Interesting. Anyway, this is kind of interesting. A-game generally likes to take the mirror matchup, but he hasn't actually played Coalition itself very often. Generally he goes for Soban instead. And the first map is going to be Tauren Crater, so he bans the Shallows, and then I banned College Teeth and picked Tauren Crater. And he said after the, oh my gosh, I did spoil it to 1v1. He said after the pick ban was done, he was happy that Canyon Outpost didn't get picked here because he didn't want to play on that map. He takes Tight End Passage for game 2, which he's been doing in this tournament pretty frequently, and it's interesting because we don't usually see anyone play that map. And then Boneyard for game 3, which should be a good map for both of us. I take Kartoba for 4, and then he picks Firebase Krill for game 5. And then I pick Gelsian Territories for game 6, and I had kind of a special strategy plan there, but it's hard to say if we'll get to that point. And he takes Canyon Outpost for game 7 because he has to. It is the ace match, right? In this best of 7, with only 9 maps in the pool, you ban 2, all the other ones are going to get played. But yeah, apparently he's really happy with that because that means that that map that he doesn't want to play might not get played if he is able to close out the series before we get there. And you got to think about the series mentality. That kind of thing can matter. There can often be quite a mental benefit to not playing on a map that you're not good at until the very end. So, it's Tauren Crater. It's an eco game. I think that should come as no surprise to anybody. Right at the beginning of this finals match, though, we don't want to play too greedy. You can see both of us are getting our Strikecraft techs here, although I think A-game is actually doing that a little bit later, so that's going to boost his economy just a bit. I did kill the probe, though, and that feels really nice. If you can kill the probe, good times, because then, your opponent does have to play a little bit more respectfully. AV Fab coming out for A-game. So like I said, he can't just, what we would both love to do here is just get another production cruiser for me, support cruiser for him, and just go right up onto 3 base, but, you can't do that if you don't have scouting, because if your opponent has, say he goes straight for air, or he has, some kind of a, not a rush, but a timing attack coming, you'll just straight up die, so we don't want to, we don't want to die, so we're going to fan out with these sand skimmers, check the map, get some tech. I do have my second PC started, though. Yeah, right, generally players are trying not to die, so that does inform quite a lot of the decisions that are made in the game. I was forgetting something, but I rectified it. Soul Chip Tech is done for me, by the way. Now I'm gonna see that there are, in fact, I think I've already seen the LAVs for A-game, so you can see I'm gonna build it right away. I don't know how many there are, I haven't really been able to see anything. There's AV Tech though, so I get to see that. I see the Sport Cruiser popping out. Wait, no I don't. Oh yeah, because it doesn't exist. That's an AV actually. There's my second PC though. A-game sees the timing, so he knows about this. If he can pressure me then, that's good, but hey, here's the Assault Chip, so I'm feeling pretty okay here. And A-game is expanding up onto that 3 base, but it looks like the tables have turned a little bit. I'm actually going to be able to get up onto 3 faster than him. Again, this really comes down to killing that probe in the opener. If you can finish the probe off like that, it's going to be good times. This is pretty annoying, by the way that this LAV, gets behind the base here. I'm going to have to deal with that, so... I'm going to task, actually 2 units over there. Probably don't need 2, but that's fine. Spot of high ground does nicely. Down goes the LAV. And you can see A-game does have that Sport Cruiser done in AV as well, just kind of driving out to my side. I guess spot of high ground, that does sound pretty much the same, doesn't it? That's what I get for being too British. Although Magpie would be pleased, as I take a sip on my drink. Very good. Armored Unit Defenses 2 teching free now. It's very, very common to see Armored Unit Defenses 1, if you haven't noticed. It really helps to just keep them alive against, like, LAVs and stuff, and the tech is quite cheap, but when you start teching into, like, when you start teching into Defenses 2 and things above that, it's really more of a commitment. And I'm just drinking water. The typical drink. Looks like third base being opened here just now by A-Game, but he actually has to leave it for a moment. Looks like that skim did die, actually. I was trying to keep that on camera in case it did, but I managed to look away just at the moment. He's got a couple of AVs here. I mean, he's eventually gonna... Oh gosh, you're right. I better stop drinking this water right now. But it's so good, I'm gonna take another drink. Anyway, yeah, it is a little bit annoying for him that he gets up on 3 base and right then I'm there. But he will be able to push me off with the AVs. Still, though, any amount of time that I can deny here, that's good for me. And no armor techs for him. I have armor too, so actually it's not even trivial to get this guy off the base, but he is going to do it in the end. If I would have microed there, maybe could have kited out and kept that guy alive too, but... Well, no one ever accused me of being too good at the game, did they? Interceptor fab coming out for me, but very good read for A-Game. It's actually going for missile battery fab here. He'd love to scout if he can and see what this tech is, but if he can't, you know, he does feel the need to get anti-air, and this is a good read from him. Oh, look, it's Paulus. I don't like that smoke though. That actually really helps me, right? Because I have the heal coming out from the base runner, so the more time I can delay, the better for me. Although, as you can see, with my amazing DOK skills, I'm actually managing to not win this fight anyway. But it looks like this assault ship gets out with 9 health, so that's pretty good. Probably gonna run right into the waiting arms of this guy though. If I check the tech now, he does have armor 1 finally, so this is gonna make it a little bit easier for him to fight these battles. Still armor 2 for me. Oh, but just as I say it, armor 3 is going to start teching. And A-Game has finished missile battery tech. It's going to go into railguns. I actually don't expect to see him build any. Well, I take it back. There's already one out. I was going to say, probably he'll wait to see if he can scout me again just real quick. And then if not, he'll build 1 or 2. But he's going to go for it right away. And for me, I do have the interceptors on the queue already. So again, very, very nice read for him. This is unfortunate for me. I've kind of bunched all these assault ships up here, but the AVs are on this side. And I can actually, like, I can get this AV killed with just the sand skimmers, but I kind of don't feel like I can handle both of these. Like, these guys are going to be too slow, so I'm actually going to reveal the air tech. I generally don't recommend doing this, but I felt like I needed to keep the base alive. It's kind of convenient for me, because look, he's already got the missile battery, so... I'm not actually giving away too much here, but it is worth saying this air reveal is not going to be, well... The air reveal's already happened, it was completely useless, but the air itself is not going to be as valuable as it would have been otherwise, so... Yeah, I'd say at this point the game still feels pretty even. Note the assault cruisers are already out here for A-Game, and he has railgun tech, so his tech is definitely a lot better than mine here. I'm gonna try to rectify that. I've got siege cruiser fab coming. You see, I canceled precision bombers. I don't want to go for this if he already knows I have air. And assault cruiser anti-air teching as well, yeah, so I like that a lot. That means that A-Game can get anti-air while also building, you know, anti-ground, so that's always gonna be nice. Yeah. Like having to build units on 2 base before you can get onto 3, do you mean? But I mean, I agree, like, the game is pretty even right here, but certainly for A-Game's side, I mean, you can just see how much sensors coverage he has, like... If I were him with the knowledge that I have as the caster, I would feel pretty comfortable, but if I were him without that, I don't know what I would say, so... Chestboards. Yeah, right out of my chest. Anyway, I see the assault cruisers now, so I know about this. Often I'll go for railguns in this case. I've already got siege starting though. Ah, you think so? I don't know. I mean, it actually feels fairly comfortable, I think, from your position. But let me tell you what, A-Game is generally a better player than me. So plus he's the one who actually played from this position, so perhaps we ought to trust him. That is true though. It carries on the field, but it doesn't really have any power, which is a bit unfortunate. It can be a bit expensive to unlock the carrier, though, building like another support cruiser just for that. We might not see A-Game do that for some time. And that's true, the base runners do give some good artifact pressure here. Although, again, I'm trying my best to lose that by just sending him out into the fog of war completely dark like that. I've even got skims here, like, why are they going back home? Base Runner heal gonna be used just to buy some time. Now I know that the assault cruisers are coming. This is kind of the big deal for me right now, is to see what I can do about that inevitable push. I have the air, but I kind of imagine that he's gonna have anti-air either with them or he has the upgrade. In this case, he's actually got both. So that's like what I'm looking at the most right now. And assault cruisers are great units when your opponent has this sort of army comp. Like, he needs to get railguns set up, which I've got the tech, I'm building them, but it's gonna take a bit of time. That doesn't mean that assault ships can't fight them, but it's really hard to do. So, sure enough, he's gonna push up onto the third base here. Wants to push me off the base if he can. Looks like EMP rounds actually teching for me. And I'm gonna bring the salvagers forward. I mean, this gives you an idea how desperate I'm feeling here. Turns out pretty nice for me though, as I dodge the attack missile barrage that way. It looks like that actually worked surprisingly well. Mortar manages to get a kill on one of the salvagers there, but actually it's the assault ships getting a kill on one of the ACs here. They will probably die to the AoE on the fadeaway though. Not quite. It looks like actually only one of them goes down. Big flank over here from A-Game now. That's something to watch out for, but well, you should talk to Vitorabum. I think you two would be good friends. Use the interceptors, by the way, but yeah, there is a lot of anti-air here. I'm gonna see that, and I think I'm actually already giving them a dock order, so they were out in the air, but not for very long. Scanner is deployed by the base runner just to see what I'm up against on this flank, so I do see the details now. It is an assault cruiser here. Fortunately, A-Game's standing still for now. This gives me a little bit of time. And I've got some railguns here. I have the EMP. If I can hold here now, I'm feeling really good actually, because I killed an assault cruiser on that flank and kept the base up. So this is where it's kind of all going to come down to, I think. Rails are hitting the assault cruiser now. And you can see EMP is just trying to stop the assault ships, or the AAVs that is, as long as I can here. Siege Cruiser gets a pretty good barrage off too. I've got the EMP as well. Let's see where that's headed. That's a strange looking hit because it's like behind the assault ships now, but you can see this is just not very good trading for A-Game here anymore. Does he have anything going on this flank though? He does. Okay, we're gonna try and keep the action all in the frame here, but it's all sort of coming down at the same moment. And you can see these assault ships just kind of sitting AFK here. I clearly am focused on the other side of the map now. Nice EMP on the Siege Cruiser though. AVs are kind of getting up onto the 3 base now. Oh gosh, that could be a really good tactics barrage. Whoa! One shot's the Siege Cruiser. Okay, well that's pretty good. My attention just too split to be able to catch all of those things. And now he's coming through on this pass right here. He wants to get up on that main base if he can. Still a lot of assault ships here though. Looks like I'm actually going to launch the air. This is a bit dangerous. Well, never mind. Actually, the AC goes down, so there's no more anti-air in this spot. Does this guy have his EMP? He does. Gonna fire it now. It's a good hit. Lands on all of them, actually. Oh, no, that's not true. He lands on 2 of them. Interceptors are here as well. Look at the veterancy on these assault ships. I've actually never seen them get that high. Extracts come out. And it looks like this attack is gonna get cleaned up, but I mean, man, insane action right there. I agree, though, I agree. A-Game's not getting what he needs out of this attack, but it was close. I mean, if the lines break there, you know, things are gonna get really messy for me. Check the units lost tab here, by the way, just to see the state of things. It looks actually not great for A-Game, but a lot more even than you would expect, actually. But the big problem, again, is he hasn't managed to kill off many salvagers here, so this is not great. And it's true, A-Game didn't have rails. He had the tech though, mind you, and he is building them now. You can see actually quite a lot of railguns up on this side. This is good for A-Game because the natural fallout for me is like, okay, let's see if I can step on him with my carrier. I've got some extracts, I have power too. But I see all those railguns, I'm like, yeah, let's maybe not try for that. Looks like this base runner here might fall as well. It has the heal popping though. It's actually getting behind the Doom. Assault ship's gonna go on this flank then, see if they can maybe get some poke over on this side, but A-Game having his carrier here, and he's got power too as well. I actually think this is probably not gonna work for me. Only problem for A-Game, well, there's a couple problems for A-Game. His army is a lot smaller than mine. But the other problem is that I already have siege cruisers out here. So he's got armor 3. These railguns are going to be fairly hardy, but it's going to be dangerous if he's fighting against these siege cruisers with railguns, right? So these railguns are good to kind of like plug up the gap, which is his army missing right now. But oh gosh, what am I doing with my carrier? This is terrible. This is one of these things that I always do, but I really should never. Anyway, yeah, it's like these railguns are good for now, but he does have to be careful that he doesn't play too hard into that strategy, because I've already got the sort of natural counter to them on the field. Although right now there's not really any front line here except like this carrier, but it's already down in half, as you can see. So this is a moment where A-Game is kind of actually feeling pretty good here. All these assault ships kind of need to be with the army. Yeah, because I'm a pro gamer, man, that's how. I guess I'm thinking about honor guards at this point, but I probably won't get that tech here. Honor guards are okay against railguns, but they've already got armor 3 set up, and he doesn't really have any LAVs, so that's probably not the play. And plus that money could be well spent in carrier power reserves, and so as you can see I'm getting power 3 here. And that is a lot of assault ships, you know. That's 10 of them. I mean, this assault cruiser, like, assault cruisers are good against assault ships, but he's not going to beat this number. I guess I wonder what he'll be able to do with the attack missile barrage. Ah, but he used the overcharge to get here faster, so that's unfortunate. He's actually going to go down before he can use it. And that sets these railguns kind of in an odd position. I mean, they can't really just run back up here. Again, we're going to have to try and catch a lot of action on the screen here, but siege cruisers are set. They're going to barrage close to try and stop my opponent from getting up on top of them. He's going to walk into the barrage, though, so this is going to do a lot of damage to him. On the other side, though, it looks like the assault ships are sort of getting stopped by the rails, but they are pushing him off of the main base here. Air units are still, well, in the air, so if I can find a window where the anti-air is dead, I could maybe go in. Looks like I'm just going to do it anyway. This is going to result in losses, but I see so many low health bars, I want to capitalize. Whoa, 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 and the assault ships killed another assault cruiser actually on this side. Is there any kind of backstab coming to me? No. And that's the thing, like, that'd feel real nice if A-Game had a backstab coming right now, but it's so hard to go for that kind of play when you don't have the field control. And he's gonna say, yeah, that's 2 bad losses, I'm just gonna have to GG out here. Third artifact is going to extract, can I, like, see the health bars here quickly, okay? Please. DUK is not going to let us see how much veterancy they had, but I agree. I mean, they had some crazy veterancy here. But yeah, I mean, I agree with A-Game. But man, I mean, what a crazy game. Just the moment that really stands out to me is when he goes in for that kind of 2-pronged attack there, and it's just, let me tell you, when you're playing in this kind of scenario, it's like, oh my gosh, what is happening? Like, you're microing out of your mind, you have no idea if you're actually doing well or not. You just kind of have to wait for the smoke to, the dust to settle and see who managed to come out on top. Let me tell you guys, that is only a taste of what this series has to offer, okay? It gets a little bit more crazy later on. Let's jump into game 2. As for me, I'll tell you what, I was really not particularly confident coming into this series. I kind of was worried I would just get 4-0'd here. Winning game 1? That's good. I feel very, very good about that. And we jump into game 2 on A-Game's pick of tight end passage. And I feel like, okay, you know, I've got some pretty good momentum going here. I feel confident. Let's see if I can get away with the railgun rush. Wait, is that true? This actually looks like it's going to be ref mode first for me. Okay, I take it all back. I take it all back. That's a bit surprising. I would have thought that I would try for some kind of aggro here. This is tight end passage after all. I mean, just look at the map. You know it's good for railguns, right? But not only that, because this map has, you know, some really unfavorable dunes looking over the bases. This dune here, just impossible to take the third base back. This dune here, well, if you can get on their third base, it's possible for them to take their second back. I mean, ask me which one's worse, I'm not honestly certain. You know, the map has like a really long rush distance, so I guess we often think, well, maybe you should go eco here, but I think this is really an aggressive map more than anything else. A-Game knows it, let me tell you what. He's doing 6 on CUs here, which means, yeah, this is definitely going to be some LAV commit. Wouldn't be surprised to see like a salvager get built to mine RUs over there so he can get the production upgrade, but he might already have it. No, he doesn't. And if we check the resources, oh, okay, yeah, he's got all the RUs he needs, yeah. So he's gonna be building LAVs for days. Going off the rails, yes. In a crazy train, you might say. Ref mode's done for me now, just about, but I do have Sandskimmer tech, so I'm not playing this too greedy, and that's good, because I'm about to get attacked here. Oh, the puns just do not stop from Just Carrier here. I love it, but I hate it. You know how it is. First contact is made here. I know that he's attacking me now. And we both fire like one shot at each other. A-game hits, I don't. Just GG out right there. It's unwinnable. I've got a bit of high ground here though, because A-game dives a little bit too far in. This Sandskimmer is going to survive. The other one's going to get the kill here. So this is kind of a good start to the trades for me, and this is going to be really important. Playing like Eco versus Rush, I mean, if you take bad trades in the beginning, the game might just be over. So this is quite convenient for me. Looks like actually a support cruiser finishes for A-game here. Oh, okay. So maybe he's actually going for like the pressure with LAVs, then go up to base. It's like a very Discara-esque strategy. Skim's gonna try and make a run up here. This is a little bit tough because he does have high ground, but you see the numbers just sort of add up for me. If this was Hearts of Iron 4, man, that'd actually be pretty cool. Ah, yeah, that's true. Well, maybe my mind games actually worked for once. Because A-game's right, I've got a history with this map. I like to do just like the dumbest builds ever, and sometimes I get away with it. Especially back in the vanilla days, I had a lot of success doing that kind of thing because, well, it was vanilla, you know. Often the builds could be fairly coin flippy. If you went for a build that your opponent just kind of went for a build that didn't match very well against, sometimes you could just win like that. And so I do some funny things where you try to like go for a rail rush with one PC, but you've actually got another PC over there or something like that. But yeah, this game just going for ref mode. I mean, honestly, I think just the straight up railgun rush maybe would have been the best way to go, but seems to be working. And I'll tell you what, at this point I was feeling really confident. I was like, wow, I mean, I'm actually winning against A-game. That's not supposed to happen. So we called up the other tourney organizers. They agreed I'm not supposed to beat A-game, and then we just called it a 4-0 for him. Anyway, Assault Pack is coming out for A-game now. That's really good. I mean, he needs that. Once you have Assault Pack, it feels tough for the Sandskimmers on a map like this. It's really open, and once you can get up on top of him, he'll just boost away. So it feels like it's pretty tough to fight. I'm even getting a little kited here. Now, right now I have this giant numbers advantage. It's actually 2. Okay, never mind. I take it back. But I was gonna say, when you have a numbers advantage, sometimes it's not great to attack onto the carrier. Because, well, it's the carrier, right? I mean, like, you want to kill the salvagers, but... And if I rotate all the way over here, it's going to take a lot of time. So what you do is you take, like, 3 of them or something and you rotate around. And the rest of them can just keep interfacing with his blob. And then you can sort of jump out and attack him on, like, the main base with just a couple, which forces him to pull back. And that can sort of increase the pressure. By the way, carrier is unlocked here already. You can see I'm taking power 1. I want to get some base runners out, too. Looking back on it, I'm not sure if this is really the best way to play. Probably if I invest money just in railguns instead, I can pressure him a lot more here. But I wanted to be a little bit more proactive than that, I suppose. Not sure if I'm really approving of this build in hindsight. But the LAVs are a little bit trapped right here. Nah, it looks like they're gonna get away. We trade 1 for 1. He denies the base for a moment. Note that fighter and gunship tech was on the way, but he ends up canceling that. Goes for rails instead. But yeah, that's the idea. If I can get the carrier powered up enough, then that becomes my front line, and I just sort of drive it into his face. Fighter and gunship tech restarted here. Oh yeah, he canceled railgun fed. This is a true A-game moment. What's the numbers like now? That looked like 11 to me versus, or sorry, 13 versus 12. So he's got the numbers slightly. He's actually got the upgrades in kind of a big way too. One skim gonna get picked off over here. Uh-oh, this is not a fight that I win. I mean, he's got high ground and he has the upgrade advantage. I think I just finished armor 1, so I'm thinking like, hey, I'm strong now. No, he's already got armor 1, damage 1 too. Not to mention it was some kind of bad positioning there. Yeah, so this is actually a huge turn in terms of the army strength on the field. I mean, I should actually be fine, like keeping that status quo there. But I ended up getting like positioned in some weird way where he was between my sand skimmers and my bases, so I kind of felt like I had to go for something. That's really bad. That's not supposed to happen. So now things are looking actually pretty good for A-Game. Rating gonna start taking for me. I know that I have to match the upgrade lead that he's got here, which I suppose I've noticed by now. And this railgun survives at 40 HP. Rails actually can contribute to a fight like this in Jaraci. Not very much, but they can contribute, so... This doesn't feel, like, completely terrible, but it's definitely a big swing in the wrong direction. I'm not happy with how that turned out. Fighter and gunship tech is done, by the way. A-Game is building a gunship right now. I've already got armor 2, so that actually is not going to be as catastrophic if you can get that, but... Oh, this is actually a pretty good fight right here. A little bit of high ground to be found as well, but not really enough. Yeah, it kind of turns into an even trade off the back end there. Yeah, but that's the thing, right? Like, if I hadn't invested in Power 1, base runners, unlocking the carrier, you know, it would actually be sort of it'd be a lot better for me, right? I mean, we could have been pressuring on the bases with assault railguns. Hold up now, we got kind of a big fight happening here. There's a bit of high ground to be found for A-Game, though. That gunship is done, by the way. It's coming. Uh-oh. Okay, it's LAV versus Skim, but they've got a gunship. Still, though, a lot of really good high ground to be had for me right here. You can see I'm splitting the sand skimmers to save my life as well. It's not actually turning out too well, though. I've got to source micro at the same time as I'm fighting here, which is tough. Still, the LAVs get wiped. Gunship manages to get 5 kills there, so that's not bad. But still, the LAVs kind of finding themselves in a bad position there. Suddenly things swing again. I mean, now it feels like it's pretty... Now it feels like it's pretty good for me. It's been quite a back and forth game so far. You can tell both of us are, like, making good plays, but we're also making mistakes. Quite a lot. You see missile ship fab coming out for me. Obviously, I need to answer the air threat. And it's actually going to be AVs for A-Game. He knows I've got railguns already, but he's mostly seeing skims, so I guess the idea is like, well, I can just sort of stop my opponent from, you know, using the skims, like, to kill off my, my dwindling LAV numbers here. Full ups from both of us, I think, are, like, finishing right now, yeah, so... These are going to be some, angry strikecraft. They're not having none of it today. And you can see now, I'm trying to maneuver onto a position where I can get up on this high ground here and push him off that third base with the heavy railgun, but this is a little bit asking too much, because again, my carrier is unlocked, which means it's not here, so this is actually more vulnerable on that side. But yes, it's true, right? Because range calibration is so good on this map, and there's just so much hills to play around. BCs, that's interesting. I mean, again, you kind of don't think that BCs would do well on such an open map, but perhaps it can work. Yeah, Barrage actually is not terrible, it just buys some space. I didn't lose any salvagers, so I kind of feel good about that, but still, a bit of mining time delayed. Mostly, I just want to stop this extract here. That would be nice for me if I can do that. What's the numbers like now? It's 11 to 14, so slight numbers advantage, but honestly, I think that the LAVs can still win this if they can trade well. Base runner might be able to set down a turret. No, it still has the initial cooldown. Yeah, you know, Discard just kind of disappeared during this tournament, so he actually didn't play any of his games. So that's unfortunate. I see. Gunship is circling, by the way. It has to be scarce whenever that missile ship is around, but there's only, like, 3 of them, it looks like, so... 4, actually. It's quite an investment into anti-air. I probably didn't need that much. Either way, yeah, you know, the gunship is, like, doing well, I think, just to not die. Because, yeah, maybe it can find a window like this, see? I was gonna say, like, something that players often make mistakes with when they have air and there's anti-air on the field is that they'll use their air in times when it could be saved for later. Looks like the gunship actually does end up going down here. Actually, you know what? This fight is looking pretty bad now that the base runner heal is coming out. I take it all back. That was actually terrible. But still, the idea is still solid there, right? Like, don't use the air until you can find a window where the air can actually do something good. Carrier, by the way, just going to be used to stop up the base runner here. And I agree with Cao Shmao. In fact, everyone should join JC14. We're probably going to organize that in a couple days here. Uh-oh. This is the moment, if I recall. I decided to dive on these railguns here. But this is a little bit too late. Like, now he's got some LAV coverage. Oh, I'm just changing targets so much. It's kind of painful to watch this. By the way, no micro on the rails there, so I managed to kind of lose all of them for nothing. These railguns here really should kind of be free if I wanted to take them, but I'm instead taking a lot of losses. Plus, I could have also chosen to go through and attack the main base here, but instead, really, really painful trade for me there. That's a giant throw. Ouch. I couldn't decide what I was doing there. Changed targets too many times and then stuck around for too long. Yeah, for real. It's like maybe that's who wins this finals, is just whoever throws the least. Railgun's up on a high ground here, which is pretty nice, but still, it's not going to win this fight. Eventually, the numbers of rails are going to outdo here. Well, but it looks like I'm taking enough time that I actually end up kind of winning that trade there. Well, honestly, I think I could have gone in onto, like, the main base, right? I mean, this was completely open. The LAVs could have come to match, but it would have been a little tough. Also, the carrier could be pressuring there, too. I think in earlier days I would have done this, but I need to have someone actually check the way first, because these days what I tend to do is just go through the fog of war, and then there's, like, 10 railguns here and I die, so... Yeah, those were actually armor 0 railguns, by the way, against damage 2 skims. It's kind of shocking I managed to get so little out of it. Honor guards are on the way, though, so I'm going to have some good answers to the LAVs, but I believe that A-Game is already building a battlecruiser here, if I'm not mistaken. And that's kind of his game plan, to try and fight the honor guards there. Huh, perhaps you're right. I mean, in that case, I just need more heavy rails, right? Man, goodness knows I've got the RUs for it, so... Right now, it looks like I'm trying to tech the rail armor upgrades. Me too, Pixie. Me too. But yeah, you can see I'm actually pop-blocked here. Looks like I'm finally going to rectify that. Yeah, well, the idea is I'm going to build more than that, right? Having armor 3 actually really helps in the railgun fight. But this, I suppose, is kind of an incorrect read, because actually A-Game's not planning on fighting railguns here, is he? He's building BCs instead. Honor Guard is here, by the way, so this makes things dangerous for the LAVs. Yeah, you can see 2 of them picked off already. And LAVs will just sort of bleed out numbers if they poke against the Honor Guard in bad moments here, so this is a situation that makes A-Game a little uncomfortable, but that's why he was going BCs, and he's already got the tech... Or, sorry, he's already got the unit finished, so... That's good for him. This ain't joke patch. You don't need to, like, bring your carrier forward to drop the BCs in the front line. Actually, they're almost twice as fast as the carrier. That's kind of surprising. Yeah, but I'm just sitting for now, too, so he doesn't probably feel too bad about this. Armor 3 is done on the railguns, by the way, so I fight rails really, really strong here. Oh, what is this? Uh-oh. Oh, that's actually so annoying. Okay, this is a great backstab here, because what do I use to answer it? I can't, you know, I can't send, like, the skims back there, right? Aha. You know what would be great here is assault railguns, actually, but I'm probably not going to build them because there's opponent rails out, and I'm just not really expecting to be able to use that. The depth pack's actually kind of a miss, and that's expensive on CUs too, so... Looks like a bit of a railgun fight here. I don't like my positioning though. I actually want to take this because I have armor 3. This is time to strike, I think. Maybe it's the BCs I'm worried about though. And to be fair, they're gonna win this Dune for A-Game, so now I kind of have to hold this line, but then the third base becomes exposed. Oh, look at that backstab though. It got four salvagers killed. That's actually insane. Yeah, for real. I mean, like 2 AVs, you know? That's such a small investment, right? But look what it did. This is a pretty good trade on the LAVs right here, though. Field repair is being used on this BC over here. Uh-oh, okay, this good trade is turning into a bad trade as he gets quite a bit of high ground now on me. But it looks like for now, I mean, this feels pretty desperate, but yeah, exactly. I'm actually driving the carrier into BCs. And I'm doing that because I feel like I need to win this hill, and I need to do it fast, because otherwise the game might just be over. That's, you know, that's the nature of tight end passage. And I've kind of spent this whole game, like, trying to win the hill over my opponent, but I can't really do it, just because of some bad positioning, I suppose. Now that he's got it, I'm feeling like all of a sudden, sure, you know, the strength of army on the field has flipped a couple times, but now I feel really in danger. Kind of for the first time this game. Silver lining to this cloud, actually, because the third base is being denied, well, I can use these guys on the main base because I lost salvagers there, so not going to lose mining time off of these salvagers, although that is definitely definitely kind of a weak silver lining. And you can see this BC is even pressuring like the second base there, but this I don't think will stick. But it's tough, you know, I can't drive over that dune because, I mean, it's BCs obviously, so I'm kind of at a loss for how to deal with these things. You can see I'm going to pop the carrier over the hill to try and confirm the kill here. This actually might work, although it's dangerous because the railguns are going to hurt. Field repairs buys a lot of time, though. It makes this a little bit more tough. You can see now I'm moving out onto this side to try and like get around the dune, but the problem is if AGameAnx figures out what's happening, he can like push on me at that moment. Also note the backstab, it's coming again. And this BC is not feeling too bad, actually. Not to mention, he can heal himself with the field repairs, so he doesn't even necessarily need a support cruiser to be there with him. Would be nice, but it's not really a luxury that AGameAnx feels he can afford right now. Actually, missile battery fab coming out. That's a bit odd, because he has vision on the carrier. He ought to know he doesn't need that. But yeah, exactly. Now that I've moved the army around, look, he's going to push out on this side. Range calibration is here. But this is actually a rail fight that I'm losing thanks to the high ground for AGameAnx. He has armor 3 as well himself now. Uh-oh, it looks like the army is just kind of melting away here. And again, here's the backstab. But yeah, he had range on me, so turning on the calibration feels pretty bad there. This is something I must admit I'm fairly bad at. When you outrange your opponent, you only want to, well, how do I say? You want to use range calibration to outrange your opponent, not when he's already in range, but I'm not always very good at setting it up at the right times. Captain over here. Very nice, very nice. Well, look at the red pieces, look at the green pieces, tell me which one you prefer. This is definitely game over. Oh my gosh. It's quite an RU float there. I mean, to be fair, both of us have floated a lot of RUs this game. But, you know, like, the spending is just better for AGameAnx, I think, over the whole game. Like, right now, it kind of looks better for me, surprisingly, but, well, I did just start up Power 5, so maybe that's not very indicative of the moment right before everything kind of fell apart there. And yeah, I'm just straight running with this carrier, but you tell me if you think it's gonna escape. Not to mention, even if it does, I might as well just surrender at that point. Strange game 2, very, very back and forth. But I've got to say, after that, I was feeling pretty disappointed, because I think it's pretty clear I was in the driver's seat for a good portion of that game, but just couldn't really get anything done with it. I feel like I got really outplayed by AGameAnx right there. It was dynamic, yeah. You know, chess.com will give you like a synopsis of your game after you finish, right? And that's the one that you never want to see. Like, that was a dynamic game, because what that means was like, man, your opponent sucked, but you sucked worse. That's the one you never want to see. Game 3 is going to be on the Boneyard here. Now, if I had gotten AGameAnx spawn, I'd be really happy about this. But as it stands, I'm not too unhappy. I'm not really, how do I say? Like, obviously, Boneyard is pretty rough when you get this spawn. The third base is hard to hold, and your opponent's is a lot easier. Rail Rush is not really quite as good. But, you know, I don't really feel too bad about this. I think that Boneyard is a fine map for me. It's a really good map for my opponent, too, though. So who's gonna win? Anyone's guess. This one seems like it's gonna be pretty evenly matched between us. Scoreline is 1-1 so far, so if that tells you anything. Tells you nothing. It's for. Oh yeah. Oh dang, the series is actually already over. I guess we ought to just surrender. Wait, can you surrender a replay? Things that I would love to try sometime. Looks like for me, the build is not going to be ref mode this time. We got skims coming out on the front line. Frankly, I don't quite remember what I do this game, though. You can see I actually have, like, 6 on CUs right there, so maybe it's actually going to be, like, Sandskimmer spam here? Huh, I'm not exactly sure what this build is meant to do for me, because this kind of thing generally tends to be a little bit weak against Coalition. Yeah, maybe that's the idea, like, pop in with a bunch of skims, make your opponent think you're going for a rail rush, and then fall back to ref mode, but I don't know, it seems a little bit dubious. We'll see if it works out. Thing to note here is that AGame's gone SC first, right? He's kept the base runner, and that means that he has access to the turret. And so, you know, that can be a pretty darn good defense here. See if I get the probe. No, not quite. So that probe can be good too, right? I mean, the probe will tell your opponent what you're, will tell you what your opponent is going for. So if I pull back now, it's gonna be a little rough. Oh, you can retire them. Oh. Yeah, so as you can see, turret totally stops the attack here. So yeah, I'm gonna go for ref mode and back away. I guess, yeah, maybe that was the plan all along, but I'm not sure. But I definitely agree, this feels pretty weak now. And you can see AGame actually giving it a lot of respect, like bringing the carrier back to main, setting the turret up, but... Well, there's not really going to be any attack behind this, right? He's given as much defense as he needed, now I back away, and it seems like it's going to be pretty easy. Yeah, so if you're going for this kind of feint, you just don't want to do as many, right? Yeah. Well, that's an interesting strategy. I'm not sure if I've really played that at all recently. Should try it out. Right now, we're just going to see if we can harass the second base. Does manage to deny just a smidgen of mining time, but not a big deal. A-game's going to feel fine about that. Looks like I heard the probe going down, but if it goes down in this... Oh, shoot, actually it died to the base runner. Ah. Still, though, the base runner is a bit of a tell that things are sort of going back to... Yeah, exactly. They're going back to eco, so A-game's going to build a support cruiser. You know what? That's honestly probably true. And in that case, man, it doesn't really feel worth it, does it? Because I did deny any potential future scouting, but A-game kind of knows what he needs to already, so... If this was like a double... If this was a double feint, okay, that would have been maybe effective. Like, if I built a second PC instead of ref mode, and then the base runner kills the probe, and then I make, like, a bunch of skims and railguns and push back into the main, but... if you try such things, you'll probably just die, so... I think it's good that I'm not thinking that way during the series. Ah, good, good. Okay. So A-game actually knows what I was thinking better than I do. That's pretty funny. AV tech is done for A-game, by the way, but I've done my assault ship tech also. Second PC is done here. A-game has the LAV to scout the third base timing, so he knows that he's pretty far ahead here. He's checking down here, I suspect, perhaps, to actually see if there's another PC coming, which he's going to see. I mean, maybe it'd be good of me to try and hide this, but... Yeah, he's gonna be like, okay, so my opponent's just finished his PC to get his third base set up. I'm really ahead. He's actually not building salvagers terribly quickly. He's focusing a couple of AVs first, but... Yeah, I mean, if you're A-game here, I think you're pretty confident with what's going on. He does have to worry about air, though, and actually I am teching it, so that's potentially a problem for him. You know what happens when Bozo uses air, though. It doesn't usually work out for him, so... AV, by the way, actually managing a double kill here, what with its having AoE now. Manages to suppress more than one of those Sandskimmers. Uh-oh, and he catches... Oh my gosh. Am I gonna lose all of these Sandskimmers? Jeez. Okay, well, it's a quadra kill! Nice one, Grick. Here's the fight we've all been waiting for, though, and it's armor... Oh my gosh, please let me see. It's armor 0 for A-game. I actually have armor 1 with 2 finishing here. If I can delay for a bit, then that would actually be nice. But still, it's 2 on 2. I have the upgrade advantage. This should be pretty easy for me. You can see A-game fully saturated on his bases now as well. That's true, he's got Vet 1. That gives him extra damage. Railgun Fab gonna finish for A-game. Oh, and there's actually a turret set up here. Oh. That makes things a little bit scarier. I'm gonna have to yield a lot of ground to this turret now. I'm out of range of it now, though, so this is actually a fight that I can still win. A-game's getting a little bit too far in. Never mind, he's got the smoke. Everything's good. I've got the air units right now, but I really don't want to use them if I can get away with it. A-game does not know that this is coming. He doesn't have anything set up for it. Okay, if I use these interceptors against LAVs, I'm gonna feel like an idiot. Alright, good, good. Yeah, it looks like right now I'm gonna use them against the turret. Oh, that's how that happened. Okay, I was really mad about this. So, I targeted the LAVs that the interceptors would have their missiles ready for the turret, but then the LAVs went out of vision, so they auto-targeted the AAV, which caused them to not have any missiles to fire, which ruined everything, yeah. Like I said, you know what happens when Bozo uses air units. Something always goes wrong. Oh, jeez. Well, that sucked. Absolutely. This will be fine, though. I actually, because of that artifact that I got out, I'm probably not going to lose anything against this AV. Well, AVs have smoke, though. Maybe he'll be able to get a kill here. And this shouldn't be too much of an issue either, although I have missed the depth packs there, so I'm actually losing quite a bit of money on that side. Uh-oh, yep, salvagers are going down here, alright. Only one, though, looks like. That's not terrible. And A-game getting stuck a little bit too far in on this side, I think. Oh, but he got a kill with the LAV here as well. Always nice to get kills at depth packs when you can. So, I don't know. I mean, the army for A-game kind of just got wiped here. And he knows that there's air, too, now, so he's got to sort of watch out for that. Siege Cruiser Fab coming out for me. I think this is a pretty good read because there are indeed railguns out on the field here. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like A-game has kind of the superior tech, but he doesn't have the superior army right now, so it's kind of an interesting game state. These railguns will be annoying, though. I do have interceptor tech done, but I don't have any interceptors left, so I can't really use those to hit these railguns here. Nice turret getting set up here as well. Actually, this is going to get another kill also. So I end up trading 1 for 2. Doesn't really feel great. And missile battery's in the spot here too now, so he doesn't have to worry about getting killed by air. So, you know, I mean, this is like... I'm really going to have a hard time pushing past this position here. And A-game knows it, I think. Looks like Afterburner is actually teching for me. I don't like this because I really probably shouldn't go for more air. I'd cancel that tech and just save the money for range upgrade instead. Look, I did cancel it. Hey, very nice, very nice. Another PC finish, by the way, so carrier can get unlocked now. And that's good. I mean, I think I want to have it kind of up here for this fight, but I should really be leaving guys back home to defend because once you unlock your carrier, your main base does become a little bit more vulnerable. Yeah, like, why am I getting this garbage? That's pretty funny. I suppose I am the same person when I'm playing and when I'm casting, so perhaps the thought processes are usually pretty similar. But I always wonder what it is that I was thinking. Sometimes I can be a bit inscrutable that way. A-game would love to extract these, by the way. I mean, this is probably going to become like a big fight here. Base Turner, by the way, actually managed to scout out the AEV attack there, so that's nice. But, you know, I am probably going to be willing to fight this. I don't want to, I don't want to give up this, this extraction zone here. And we should be fine on this side. Base Runner Heal actually keeps the BR alive too. Maybe he can attack the third though, so this might get a little bit dicey. Railgun tech is done for me. I've got a siege cruiser out as well. Definitely getting that range upgrade would be nice. I've got it. Nice. And then maybe EMP shell is good too, because EMP shell I guess I think of as being really like the answer to like a particular like threat of cruisers from your opponent. Like if he's got battle cruisers, it's really nice. If he's got assault cruisers, you can maybe get some free kills like that. But it's really pretty powerful against turrets as well, and it's not bad at all against the army, so... EMP shell would probably be a good thing to tech into here. See some power reserves coming out for me also. Oh, Siege Cruise is actually getting tagged by the turret there, but that should be alright. And with the heavy railguns coming in now, we should be able to make our position here a lot firmer than it was before. So what's the tech for A-Game gonna be? Looks like he's teching BC Fab. Oh, that's awkward. I hit the barrage before I actually finished killing this turret here. I always knew the carrier was gonna take damage there. I was trying to use it to spot for myself, but that definitely caused it to take more than it needed to. Of course, A-Game can more easily change the front here because if he how do I say, if he rotates everything over, which is kind of what he's doing right now, and then I do it to match, he can just extract with the base runners, so... And he doesn't really have a threat of my carrier, like push... Oh, this is such a throw. Don't do this. Oh, don't do this. Oh, no. Yeah, I don't like that at all. Base runner heal is going to be good on this side, though. It's going to turn into kind of an intense battle once again. Siege Cruiser goes down, though. Uh-oh, really didn't have any business being in that spot. Oh, gosh. See, if only I could realize that these kinds of things were a bad idea, like, during the game instead of during the cast. Yeah, that's really unfortunate for me right there. And by unfortunate, I mean stupid. Armor 3 is done for the rails, so they are fairly resilient here, but still, you expect one to die? No, actually, it manages to escape there. Very nice. And, like, rails are expensive in Jaraci, too, so that's actually a big deal. Speaking of rails being expensive, this one has a death wish. And honestly, this looks like an attack that might even like kill the carrier off here. This is gonna be dicey to try and get out of. I do have power 3 finishing soon. The assault ships here really need to, be hitting on this area. Try and... Okay, yeah, actually the AoE is pretty good here. Power 3 finishes for me. You know what? With all the railguns being dead here, this actually starts looking a little bit less dangerous. I'm kind of amazed that I managed to pull this off. But it's still not great. These AAVs are going to be able to run down the, they're going to be able to run down the railguns here, and then bad things will happen. Oh, okay, well, it's a couple of assault ships to defend. Certainly, that was the entire army for A-Game, so I feel pretty comfortable, like, taking guys off of the flank there. There's a couple more railguns here than I realized, though, and those are being a bit annoying. Power 4 is teching for me, by the way. I love using the mortar against soldiers like that. I mean, that's a nice thing to do. Well, actually, it's very rude, but nice in the, you know, that's a good move sense. You know what I'm saying. And yeah, A-Game will most likely get his double extract off here. Note the carrier on the flank. This is something you never see Coalition do, but why not? I mean, he knows that my entire army is either dead or on this side, so... You know, this is a legitimate threat against the main base. BCs are done, by the way. He seems to really be enjoying this unit right now, so he's going to be using those. I know that the carrier's here, though, so maybe I can, like, try and snipe it or something. That's kind of the last hopes for this game. Because, like, yeah, make no mistake, this is a terrible position to be in. I'm, like, super far behind right now. I didn't even get to fleet cap 125. That's pretty rough. So yeah, main base having to be evacuated now. I like this BC not sticking with the carrier, by the way. I mean, you really only need one. He wants to instead focus on that extraction zone. He's on potentially game point here, right? I mean, this is the game-winning artifact, so... Yeah, having the BCs down on this side would definitely be overkill when he's already denied the main base. And that's the 4th artifact now, so that makes things tough. I'm gonna have to find some way to kill this thing off, which is not gonna be easy. Another siege cruiser would be nice, I guess, but it'd be tough to get that. Maybe it's best to just save for power 5, I don't know. I mean, this is not a situation you want to be in. As you can see, I'm even like pulling the retire on all these guys. I'm just like, I don't think that it's possible to fight, so I'm just gonna try and... Or fight for that main base. So I'm just gonna try and consolidate as many resources as I can here. In other words, I'm saying I'm bringing the entire army over here, so if I, you know, if I leave them down on the main base, they're just gonna get denied by the carrier. There's the artifact there. You can see I'm moving the carrier in a path to try and carrier block here. This is dangerous, though, because this... Well, okay, railguns are in a bad position here. The BC is there, though, which is gonna really hurt. Yeah, artifact goes down. Actually, smoke was popped on it, but it's just a little bit too late. Siege cruiser gonna go down here? I think I really did not expect his railguns to be in that position. And you can see the carrier is pretty quick. I'm gonna be able to get out of here, but... It remains to be seen what it's really worth. Big influx in CUs on that timing there, because all the salvagers managed to retire. But what I really need is RUs. If I could get power 5, that might be nice. Oh, the railgun goes down to the turret. That's really unfortunate, too. Still, though, we've got a pretty nice bank of rails here. It's just, he has kind of this permanent high ground on me. Scanner gets deployed, there's the carrier. So I decide, okay, you know, this game is really just kind of lost. Maybe I can snipe his carrier. That's kind of the only way I can play this. Note that Power 4 just finished, though, which is when you unlock the cruise missiles, so that's some pretty nice timing for A-game. Yeah, you wanted me to come down here? Well, I mean, I don't blame you. This is a pretty good tool. You're probably a little surprised to see that the base was just evacuated like that, but... Yeah, as you can see, everything just sort of folding over here. Well, it actually is. Their power 4 is actually power 5, because mobility systems is their power 2. Yeah, you can. But you really don't want to. I mean, if you're gonna get, like, carrier power and you don't get the mobility upgrade, it feels pretty sad. Uh-oh. Yeah. Hashtag remove nukes, man. I hate these things. Anyhow, that's gonna be the game right there. The question now really is whether or not I'm gonna survive to get power 5 so that I can fire a spike nuke of my own. But A-game's gonna feel pretty good about that. I'll tell you what though, that doesn't really compare to the joke patch nuke we had the other day, alright? That one was even better. Yes! Spike nuke! So as you can see, I kinda have the moral victory here. Either way, that is gonna be game 2. Definitely a lot of questionable decisions from me. But yeah, it was a pretty good game either way. Oh, and look at that, the carrier died like on the other side of the resource patch from where it spawns. That's kind of aesthetic. I've crossed the threshold, as it were. Cast joke patch after? No, probably not. It might be fun to like watch that nuke, honestly, but other than that, I don't really have any interest in casting joke just yet. The time will come. Don't worry. The time will come. We're gonna jump into game 4 here. This one's gonna be my pick. It's on KT Alt. And I'm gonna go for a rail rush here. You can see the base runner retire happening right there. As I've been kind of labbing the builds, I think this is maybe the best way to do rail rush, where you get one salvager goes to RUs and then one goes to CUs on the second base. I feel like this just gives your build a bit of versatility. Like, if you run up against LAV spam, you can easily go to 2 PC from here. But if you want the rail tech, you can get it, which is really important. The wreck gets opened here as well. I mean, wait, what? Obviously it does. What am I talking about? Either way, if we go over here and check A-Game's side, he's got 6 on CUs right now. LAV fab is done, carry production upgrade is started, so this is going to be that LAV spam opener. Definitely, this is a position where I want that second PC. And this is why I've been doing the Railgun Rush build this way. Because now it feels like, look, I've already got this LDM here, I'm going to have a bit more CUs. It'll be easier to get my second PC started than it would have been otherwise. You can see I've got all the salvagers set up. I really like to play Railgun Rush this way where my eco is pretty strong. Oh, it needs more than that. But the point is you're always going to make that salvager, so having him be on CUs from the long distance mining rather than RUs just means that you get your first hit of 50 a little bit faster. Because I was always planning on getting LDMs here. I just do it a little bit faster this way. Because in order to pay for itself, it's 270 plus 100, which is going to be 7 trips and then change. So anyway, you can see Railgun Tech started for me. Going to get cancelled once I see the LAVs out. Second PC started. And I'll get Railgun Tech later. For now, this is definitely the power trough of the Railgun Rush. If my opponent wants to push on me, he can, right? Because he's got his production upgrade done. He can make a lot of LAVs here. So I need to kind of buy for some time, see how much like ground I have to give my opponent. Hopefully not too much, and then I can come back in after my second PC is finished. Having the railguns faster would make this a little bit easier, but you still need to get that second PC, so I think it actually sort of delays the time before you start hitting your opponent. So getting 2 PC when you see the LAVs here, I think that's definitely got to be the play. Uh-oh, this guy getting hit though. It's 1-0 there. A-Game's going to be happy with this. As I said in that tight end passage game, if you're getting rushed, and you know A-Game's not going eco, but still, if you're getting rushed, taking good trades in the beginning is really, really good for you. And taking bad trades, that might just end the game. So another attempt here to try and pick off this LAV, but I can't quite do it, so it's 2-0 so far for A-Game. But the second PC is done now. And again, for me, like, it's not terrible to be losing these guys. I'm sort of fighting for terrain here. I'm gonna have to fight back all of the ground that I lose here, so it's actually pretty good to be able to... Oh, we got a little bit of a fight here. Ooh. I mean, you've always got to be nervous. Like, once this shows up, like, this is the decision point where I could go back to ref mode right now. And if I don't, it's like, this game is going to be stressful, no matter which way you cut it. I'm gonna send this Sandskimmer back, by the way, so I can keep this investment of the LDMs mining. Ooh. Anyway, yeah, from now on, the game's gonna be really on a knife's edge, and I have the assault railguns building, which is good for me. It's really, really important that I manage to use these things, but not lose them. And that's, I think, where a lot of rail rushes fail, is that they get the assault railguns, they get to this point, but either they are not able to fire enough shots into the LAVs, or they fire, you know, too many shots, and the LAVs jump on them and kill them. Speaking of which, oh gosh, yeah, see, this is how, oh no. This is how Rail Rush dies. With thundering applause. Anyway, the second assault railgun is here, so this isn't terrible, but oh my gosh, it's gonna die too. Oh man. That's not good, that's not good at all. I have trimmed down the LAV numbers, but I'm giving my opponent a lot of time here. And as for A-Game, he's probably thinking of getting onto Railgun Fab himself eventually, but he doesn't have his second RU salvager here, so we'll see if he ends up getting that. Oh, it's a support cruiser. Okay, that's actually really good. Again, see, I was fighting for terrain earlier, because if he gets the support cruiser now and just manages to drive his carrier up onto 2-base, that's not good, because once he's on 2-base against my 1, now we're feeling really bad about the rush. That's a great trade against the LAVs, though. This still keeps the numbers fairly even, because I've been trading poorly before this. It's 8-6 right now. Well, make that make that 7. But definitely this is good for me. I'm finally kind of getting some ground back here. This is gonna be like the win or lose moment, I think, in the next like couple minutes here, because now I've really got to start hurting my opponent, and I have to be so careful with these assault railguns. Because yeah, he's got his carrier on that 2 base. He's got railgun tech on the way. This is kind of on a timer. It's funny Phoenixio says that because he's right and wrong in the same at the same time in different ways. Anyway, heavy railguns up on the high ground now. He's gonna start hitting that carrier. Assault railguns are a little too close though. They take some damage. The key is that like you want the assault railguns to get shots off, but then like not get shot at. Oh gosh, neden bunu söyledin? Vay be. Bir de benim amım yok ya. Bir erkekim. Oh my gosh, did I say erkekim? Bir erkeğim, alright? Kadın değilim. Neyse. I haven't spoken Turkish in so long. I'm really bad at it. I need to practice a bit more. So far I've gotten a bit of damage on the coalition carrier here, but not bad. Hey, Turk approval. Very good, very good. Oh no, this is bad. Oh gosh. Yeah, again, losing those assault railguns is not good. Oh jeez. So the carrier is pretty low here, but there's a big risk that A-Game is going to wait for the boost. Oh wait, oh, he doesn't actually have a soul pack. Oh. Interesting. Well in that case, maybe this isn't quite so dire as I think, but still I need to rebuild those assault railguns as fast as I can. He's actually still getting hit by the the heavy rails though. This is kind of hurting him a bit. Carrier's low, by the way. This is down at about 1/3. Oh, I don't like this fight at all, though. This is too close. Yeah, these assault railguns are gonna get jumped on here. Oh, okay. A-Game's gonna back away for the moment. This is bad trading, though. These skims are kind of getting hit for nothing. Oh, what the? Oh, what are these assault railguns doing? Oh, gosh. Oh, no, that was messy. Yeah, now that these assault rails are dead, I'm sort of jumped on, so I'm gonna just move everything toward the carrier and try and kill him. Oh, dear. AV's actually doing like or LEV's doing the run by the way. I kind of love this. Uh-oh. Yeah, the army's sort of dead here now. And the PCs are just sort of sitting still. They know. They know what happens next. Man, that's tragic. Cause look how low this carrier is. That was really close to killing him, but just not quite. Yeah. See, it's tough though. Like you make just like one mistake and you can get killed there. That goes for both players. This is just like such a stressful build to play. That's why I love it. Not gonna work for me here though, and A-Game manages to take the win, and that brings the scoreline to 3-1. So that's kind of a Monka-esque moment, right? This is the potential series point here as we move into the next game. And it's true, by the way, Google Translate really butchers languages, but it actually does surprisingly well with Turkish. Like, what you said is grammatically fine, but it just sounds weird. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, I don't know. You just sort of have to be able to speak the language to be able to, like, understand why, so it's really hard to troubleshoot that kind of thing. Well, see, the point, Phoenixio, is that most people who learn a language aren't just trying to meme on them, whatever that even means, so I feel like that statement's just completely invalid. Anyway, Firebase Krill is the map here. This is A-Game's pick. I don't remember what I end up going for. Oh, no, I do remember this now. Yeah, so I'm going to go for a Railgun Rush again here. I'm going to do it in a bit of a different way. This is sort of the Ninja PC strategy. This should tell you a bit of what I'm feeling, right? Like, this is kind of Desperation Station here. We're at match point. I know that if I lose this, it's just game over, so... Well, does it come out of his fingers? It kind of like comes out of his brain through his fingers, do you know what I mean? Anyway, the point is, I want to just sort of, like, not get seen here, and then I'll be able to just blow up my opponent. You know, that's the game plan. And if that sounds risky, it's because it is, right? If this fails, it fails big. It fails big. So, you know, we'll see what ends up happening. It's AV5 for A-game, though. I think that definitely bodes well for me. Because this is definitely an AV rush, and that doesn't really tend to go too well. In fact, even on... Well, no, this is kind of a good map for the AV rush, but yeah, I'm really gambling a lot here, and frankly, it kind of seems like I'm gonna get paid off. No. If Erdogan had his way, we'd have to speak Arabic. Alright, that's different. Maybe I should keep the politics out of stream. But you get the point. That's true. That's true. I've been thinking about Just Carrier and I's game on this map a lot, alright? Because that one was just ridiculous. Here comes the rush, by the way. Assault railguns are, like, on the way for me. AVs are coming here. You want to note, he will be able to deny LDMs if he brings, like, one AV over here, but the problem is... Oh, excuse me. The problem is that, like, he really wants to use those AVs to help defend himself, you know what I mean? Assault railguns are starting to plink, by the way. And, you know, in Jaraci patch, assault railguns really can hurt carriers, so this is a valid threat on its own. Attacking on the main is always a bit of a risky move, because he could move this support cruiser over here and just sort of, like, be on 2-base. Unless I can push off his carrier, which will take a long time. You know, I won't really be able to get anything there. But, you know, he will eventually lose that carrier. So this is a little bit of a interesting, like, decision point for him. By the way, note that one AV did come down to the base, as I was talking about. In fact, it's going to get a kill here. And, actually, no heavy railguns being built here. I'm really focusing on the assaults. I know that they can hurt the carrier, but note that he is healing up pretty quickly here. Did you guys know that every 60 seconds in Africa, a minute passes? You missed some pretty good games so far, but let me tell you, better things are coming, alright? Better things are coming. Armor gets powered up for a game here. He's trying to keep the carrier from losing health as long as he can. This would not be terribly effective against heavy railguns, but against assault railguns, armor has a great effect, so that's definitely something he's wanting to do. That's true. You know what? Like, killing that logistics module is actually pretty annoying. Yeah. And he will have to replace it. By the way, AVs are going to attempt like an attack here, but they're sort of out of sync with the LAVs, so... I'm sorry, I didn't really catch this on camera. I need to be a little bit better with my my positioning here. But yeah, the LAVs are a little bit desynced from the AVs, and so I can just sort of jump on this. In fact, I don't think I took any losses at all there. Yeah. I mean, definitely, but you do have the railgun tech, so I'm sure that one of these is building here. Heavy railgun is done, by the way. This is starting to hurt the carrier. Did you know there used to be a myth that Finnish and Turkish were in the same language family? But it's not true. So if anyone tells you that, tell them that Bozo tells you you are wrong. I'll stake my name on that. Anyway, I'm trying to remember what that was called. It was like the Euro-Altaic language family or something, which turns out to not exist, but they thought that it was real. Anyway, yes, the armor break is very effective on this too. It actually ends up taking his armor down below 20, so like it's almost as if not only he didn't have the armor powered up, but he had even less than that as I'm shooting him with the assault rails, so... let me tell you what, Phoenixio, you won't learn Finnish. That's like one of the hardest languages in the world. LEV's gonna try to trade in here now. They will do pretty well against the Sandskimmers, but they're taking too many losses from these assault railguns. This is also a desperation station, I would say. And you can see that A-Game has moved his carrier out here because he knows he can't just like lose that health bar anymore. You can see there's 3 heavy railguns up here. And, you know, this probably induced, like, the LAV attack there, but... Because he's thinking, okay, he's got too much, like, anti-capital, maybe I can jump on him. The problem is, once the carrier leaves, that does sort of let you know that, like, your opponent is aware that he's gonna lose his carrier here, which means he's ready to give up the main base. That's gonna happen eventually, and once it does, the game is over, so... I'm smelling blood in the water. This is almost done. This is almost done. Again, though, as we saw in that last game, you make one mistake, you might lose this still, so I need to be careful. Ça va bien? Merci, et tu? Ça va très bien. Pourquoi? Dis okay. Yeah, I'm like a shark. I'm like a shark. Uh-oh. Support cruiser gonna die here. Yeah, and once that goes down, like, A-Game may well choose to just kind of surrender here, but he might stick it out. This game is definitely over now, though, now that the main base has been evacuated. Yep, there it is. And this time it's a successful rail rush, but I have to say, I'm not sure if this is really by better execution or just by the fact that A-Game went for the AV rush, which turned out to be unfortunate, and then did it, like, you know, 1 or 2 bad moves, like the AVs attacking a pier wasn't so good. Getting railguns faster might have been better. But it's a bit of a dice roll, and I definitely gambled on it that way, but I got paid, so I'll take it. Now we're gonna jump into Game 6. This is where things start to get into the 11th hour in a best of 7 series like this. I'm still up against the wall, the scoreline is 3-2. And I'll tell you what, A-Game has won a lot of best of 7s against me 4-2. That's happened more than once. This time, though, I've got an idea. This time I've got an idea. Do I like Turkish girls? Irrelevant. There's none in my area, sadly. And I'm taken. So, for 2 reasons. Not many Turkish girls in Utah. Okay, you know what, though? This was the craziest thing. We actually met 2 of them at Lagoon, just, like, working one of the rides there. Lagoon is this amusement park near my location. It's in Fillmore, I think. Is that what that town's even called? I don't know. But anyway, so we're just like going on this ride, and we hear these 2 girls speaking Turkish. I was like, what? So I turned to my friend Cameron, who was in, well, he was living in Germany with me, but he spoke Turkish as well. And I was like, are they speaking Turkish, really? And he's, I think they are, you know? So, so we go up there, and we were like, selam, you know, nasılsınız, right? And they're like, no way, because, I mean, it's very unlikely to find Turks in Utah, but it's even more unlikely to find white guys who can speak Turkish, you know? They were operating, like, the Skylift, which is, like, this ride where you can go across the park without walking, you know, because it's America, we're lazy. Anyway, so we just go on the lift after chatting with them for a while. We get to the end, we're like, did that just happen? Like, what are we doing? We need to go over there and, like, ask them out, you know? And then we went back and they weren't there. They were gone. We're like, oh my gosh. Anyway, that's my story about the Turks. This game is kind of weird, by the way. My attempt here is to try and, my plan here is to try and fake my opponent out and go for a carrier rush. This is a terrible idea, never do it. But if it works, it'll be very funny. I've got ref mode started, but I also have Sandskimmer Fab started. You can see the PC came forward. I'm trying to sell this as either this is going to be like a skimmer push, or this is going to be like ref mode first. That's the idea. And if I can sell that, I'm gonna be feeling pretty good, because actually the carrier is gonna be coming out, and then things get rough. That's the hope anyway. I mean, who knows if this is actually gonna work. So right now, the way I'm positioning this PC, I actually have the refinery turned off. And this is obviously hurting my economy a bit, but I'm trying to make my opponent not think that I have ref mode going here. This is like the one time in the game that this resource control is actually useful. Otherwise I'd have to like micro the salvagers over here instead. And you can see I'm pushing this PC forward. And maybe he'll think, okay, there's probably another PC coming, I have to be careful. For him, sending down a bizarrely prophylactic turret, actually, that's interesting. And yes, it's true. I don't know why it does, but it's true. But that happened while he didn't have vision on it, so... Anyway, this turret is kind of strange, but he did go for that SC first build, so he's getting a lot of eco. If he's thinking, okay, this is like a delayed push, he's actually going to be feeling pretty good about this. Little does he know, this carrier is on the way. And I've flipped my my mining focus here. You can see I've got like the RUs. Oh, I haven't done it yet, but after these guys drop, I'm going to go over there. BR probably going to pop the heal here so I can try to survive, but you can see I'm waiting until the skims comes so that I can maybe take a fight if that's an option. Not gonna happen though. So I end up just backing away. Ah, that's too bad. Alas. Well, we'll see you later. You can see another base spinner built here. I'm gonna pick up this artifact. One of them is gonna be picked up by this base spinner from the start. Power 1 is teching. RU miners on the nat. Yep, we're doing this. And he hasn't seen this carrier yet at all, right? So from AGame's perspective, this game is pretty simple. Like, he knows what's going on. Second artifact pickup might be a little bit strange for him, but it's not until he sees this carrier that he's really going to know what sort of danger he's in. There it is. He just has gotten it revealed. That's going to be a bit of a shock. I hope he's still in the chat. I want to hear, like, what his reaction was to this. The problem with Galzian carrier rushes is that the carrier is very slow. But I'm already here, so I feel like I kind of... And this is a very short rush distance map, mind you. That's one of the reasons I picked this map to do it. So I feel like I'm sort of in the driver's seat now. Power 2 is starting, and yeah, Railfab is just now getting picked here, so... This is gonna be tough. This bizarre turret is actually really good for him, though. You can see I'm like... Oh, somebody followed. Hey, Corona Jahit. Jorona Jahit? Is that how you say it? Second turret getting set, by the way, but this can't possibly work. Actually, you know what? It's starting to hit... Oh my gosh, he even subbed. It's starting to hit the sand skimmers, though, which is actually kind of really good for him. Wow, well, I didn't think that was going to happen. Railgun tech is done now, by the way. And I'm going to see that opening here. Indeed, he's building one also. Yeah, well, of course it's a joke, though. If you speak Turkish, you'll get it. Oh, I see, I see. Turret finally gets denied, by the way. This railgun here is sort of a problem for me, too. It looks like I'm gonna get it killed eventually as well. Second base spinner pops. I mean, I might as well use the heal on the fadeaway, but this is meant to go for the artifact. But my carrier's starting to take some damage. I'm starting to get a little bit worried about that. Oh, the betrayal. A-Game doesn't think of Phoenixio when he's playing? Oh my gosh. That came out of nowhere. I thought that was going to be true. And no, Phoenix, he's not. You can tell because he's actually won 3 games so far. Power 3 is teching. I'm going to move the carrier away here. And there's still rails for A-Game, but now he's been pushed back to the main base. This actually feels really good for me. Honestly, maybe I could push in there and kill him, but I'm not even worried about that because I've got 4 artifacts and I have 2 base runners holding one right now. So this is potentially like the game-winning artifact. Oh, Phoenixio has done Greed? That means that Greed is a Phoenixio strategy, guys. That's confirmed. Again, I shouldn't bully Phoenixio like this, but he just makes it so easy. It's hard not to. Yeah, A-Game sees the writing on the wall. He's gonna surrender here. And my friends, that brings the scoreline to 3-3. You know what that means? You know what that means? Ace match. Ace match. Here we go. We don't do like training nights or anything, but sometimes we'll just play 1v1s for hours against each other. I would say go onto the Discord server, just ping at HWDOK, like looking for 1v1. And like if A-Game or I or someone else is on, like yeah, we're usually pretty down to play that. But there's also other people who are not even part of the competitive community who can join. Oh, heresy, Kjafirsin, Hadigit. Anyhow, this game here is gonna be the ace match on Canyon Outpost, and again, this is the map that A-Game was sort of happy that wasn't picked because he wasn't gonna have to play it, but here we are. Let me tell you, I'm not gonna spoil what happens this game, but it's ridiculous. Alright? It's absolutely ridiculous. We'll take a look at what's happening here. This is gonna be a railgun rush for me at the start, so you can see Skimmerfad starting here. Alhamdulillah, Yavuruz. My pronunciation is so bad now. Oh well. MOBAs are kind of RTS? No, that's not true. Not anymore. I mean, they started as a mod for like World of Warcraft, I think, but it's just a different game at this point. Mountain. Ah. I guess technically Mountain does sort of kind of explain this game. Kind of. I'll tell you what, by the way, at this point, like, I think A-Game and I, like, our nerves were just completely shot here. I mean, this is, like, you know, best of 7, you get to the ace match. This is the sort of situation where so much rides on this game. And by the way, Probe gets denied there. I should have focused on this a little bit more. This is kind of funky movement to try and get the kill there, because I assumed he'd come over this way. You know, if you're A-Game, that makes you a bit uncomfortable, I'm sure. This is not really what you wanted, to have your opponent manage to deny the probe here. AV Fab gonna tech for him. This is dangerous, right? I mean... Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, fast expand without the probe, you know. He's probably expecting this is gonna be Assault Chips, because Assault Chips are really, really good on Canyon Outpost, right? And if that's the case, then everything he's doing makes a lot of sense, right? You fast expand, you get AVs as quick as you can, you hope to beat the aggro, but if not, if your second base gets denied, once you are able to push the AVs out, or the Assault Chips out, you're able to get back on it. But I'm sure by now, seeing this many LAVs, he's starting to wonder, because you don't do this when you're Assault Chip rushing. So he's probably worried that it's Railguns by now already. Railgun tech is on the way for me. We're not going to see any tech cancels though, he's going to stick with this. And I'll take this trade if I can, but it looks a little bit dubious. I pulled back the wrong skin. Oh dear, like making micro mistakes like that is pretty sad, but still I managed to get the 1-for-0 trade. AVs are on the queue now. Second PC almost done for me. You can see that did get started before the railgun tech. And that's actually a little bit unfortunate because I thought I saw LAVs, okay, it's gonna be LAV spam, but actually he did go for AVs here. Well, the problem is that you're so shaky, you know? You're like, everything rides on this last match, and so or map, that is. And so as a result, like, it's really hard to micro because you're just so nervous about everything. Few players have been in this position, few players have, but I'm sure they can all agree with that. I mean, it gets really intense when you get down to this position. AV actually finding a spot of high ground there, by the way, but here's the heavy railgun. Gets a shot off, right, there's the Sunder. Now I'm gonna just try and kill it with the Sand Skimmers. Good, good. Second AV is over here, by the way, keep your eyes on that. That might end up being important later. Uh-oh, LAV is focused down the heavy railgun, but they don't kill it. And suddenly things look really, really tough for A-Game. I mean, now he's staring down the barrel of a rail rush with only AVs. He's lost the whole LAV blob. This doesn't feel great, but I'm kind of mispositioned, right? I'm going to be able to deny second like this forever, but it's really, really hard to push on this position because of this dune here. Probe goes down on that side, I suppose. But I can allocate a couple skins to fight that. In this position, my opponent only has AVs. I'm not really worried about that, like, keeping up my Sand Skimmer numbers, so I can send as many over there as I like. And you're right, if I go from the main base side, now I can rail rush, but I don't want to do that at the start, so that's why, like, Canyon Outpost is not really such a great map for this. Generally, in rail rush, you really want to come from the second base, But, you know, in this position, like, or sorry, in this map, maybe I can push through here, but AVs are going to be actually a little bit happy there because they can use this dune. Railguns are popping for A-game as well, but this one looks fairly free if I just dive on it with the sand skimmers, but looks like I'm going to think better of that. It's always a little bit dangerous if you're going to go in there. So it looks like the AVs are going to push over the hill here. I can kill all of his railguns for free, though. Well, for free is not the word, because I lost mine, too. But that's the point, right? I mean, like, we're kind of trading even here. And for the guy rail rushing, this doesn't feel super comfortable either, because you really want to be able to end the game. You're not interested in... You're not interested in taking even trades right here. And yeah, me neither. I thought I was going to keep that one alive, too. But that makes a big difference. So as you can see, I'm going to say, like, okay... If I keep rail rushing here, things are dangerous. I'm just going to go back to ref mode. That feels like the safest option. And honestly, this is not bad. You know, I'm going to be able to expand to 3 probably faster than my opponent. He'll be on 2 before I am, but I'll be on 3 before he is. So this can definitely be done. My sand skimmers are still pretty useful in this mode. All I need is to just get some heavy railguns here so that I can fight him. Yeah, that's kind of the idea. I mean, with a railgun rush, you want to get the kill, but if you can't, you can still get back onto 3 base, and you'll be able to do that faster than your opponent. So, you kind of have to find a window where you have an advantage, but you can't capitalize it in order to go for this mode, right? But that's kind of where we are right now. I mean, I feel like I do have the advantage. I'm trading better than him, but I can't kill him. So, we're gonna follow that up with ref mode. A little bit myopic here, by the way, since he killed that scanner. I don't see this AV, but it shouldn't be a problem. I do have heavy railguns, like, in the area. No, you want to go for the kill if you're railgun rushing. That's what I think is really fun about that strategy, is that most early game rushes are designed about, like, doing eco damage, but this one really just wants to kill people. But I agree with that. You don't want to just only do it. This is why I always get, like, the LDM setup, right? Because that'll sort of... Like, if I can contain my opponent off of 2 base, then I actually technically have the eco advantage during the rush, right? Well, no, you said you don't want to go for the kill. Anyway, point is... Oh, I see, going only... Oh, you did say that. Ah. Phoenixio is right for once. Oh, man. By the way, railgun goes down here. This is a bit unfortunate for me. I'm going to be able to attack the main base, which is good. But honestly, I'm kind of sad to be losing the railgun here. Yeah. I mean, I think it was definitely the right play. Just because, again, if I was on this side, maybe I'd be able to... Maybe I'll be able to push it a little bit better, but I'm just... It's so hard from here and here. And you know what, like I was saying, AAVs are not so good against rails, but on this map, maybe they're actually really not bad if I'm approaching from this angle. Because going up this corridor, you can always just jump over that dune and hit me. There's a lot of railguns, by the way, but they're kind of undefended right now. So this one railgun will die here, but that's probably okay, because I can, like, use him for the armor break and then actually get kills on my opponent, like, on the fadeaway. So yeah, we end up trading 1 for 1. I guess actually he's getting a couple of sand skimmers as well, though. Really, though? I just need more railguns. That's like the name of the game right now. Oh, A-game doesn't agree. Looks like I'm gonna dive on the AVs right here. This is always a little bit risky, but I think in this case I'm definitely... That's true! Ah, yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, coalition rails are a lot cheaper. Wow, that is one fit. Oh, it's Dan! It's Commander Dan! Well, it's too bad we missed this guy when he was a lieutenant, but still, you get the idea. He may not have legs, but he does sure do a lot of damage, I'll tell you that. And he's got smoke, nice. Agent Orange, you know, it's also thematic. Railgun's gonna go down anyway, though, and maybe Dan will fall too. How the mighty are fallen. These skins do want to get out of here now, though. Ooh, they're gonna take quite a lot of damage on the backside. Still though, rail count starting to get a little bit better. I know that there's an AV out here too. By the way, I had seen him earlier, so I'm just gonna drive the carrier out there to try and deal with it. And A-Game has gotten onto 3 base now too, but I've still sort of reaped the rewards here a little bit. This is 13 salvagers, so what am I missing? Looks like I'm missing 1 RU miner. Wait, no, I'm missing 2? Wait, what? Oh, yeah. And as for A-Game, looks like he's missing 2 RU miners on the second. Oh, that's true. You can just look at it up here, can't you? Yeah, it looks like I've replaced that one now. Skims are looking at maybe attacking the main base again, by the way, but this is probably not going to work, so I'm just backing away now. You know what's missing here? What's missing here is a base runner. I should really be extracting right now. What do I think about range calibration? Good tech. I guess it does sort of depend on the map, but generally speaking, I think range calibration is really strong. Coalition rails actually slightly outrange Gaussian rails, but with range calibration, they you know, the balance gets flipped there. So it's not like it's a must-have tech, but it's pretty good. This is some March of the Penguins crap over here. These AVs are unupgraded though, by the way, and like when Sunder hits, they have 0 armor. They just die instantly. But even without it, these Sandskimmers are able to easily fight them, I think. A-Game's saying it's must-have. Okay. I mean, I could buy it, but definitely like based on the map, it might be. Like, say you're on Titan Passage or like Kartova or something. I think in that case, yeah, you really need to have that tech. This fight, by the way, it looks a little bit derpy, but I will actually be able to win it. These AVs are... They have armor 1 now. Oh, the det packs, though. I was about to say, that can turn things, and the det packs are really good here. Still, though, these railguns are a little bit hung out to dry. The Sandskimmers got a little bit too damaged by the det packs there, though. Smoke is out in a good position, so I take it back. These railguns are safe. Uh-oh, and there's a backstab on the main base, too. Det packs, my friends. You know what's funny? I knew about that AV. I guess I just never bothered to, like, clear him out. Because the Sandskimmer blob could have done it without taking any losses. I mean, let's be fair, that did cost 600 CUs, but still, that's kind of amazing. Railguns are here now, though, and these guys don't have any det packs left. I take it back, they do. But it looks like now, this actually looks more like a railgun rush, which is ridiculous, you know, but that's where we are. It should be worth noting, again, though, I've left the main base undefended. This is where a couple of assault railguns would be really good. Just gonna block off this sort of attack. And it's gonna be kind of slow going because I have to navigate the dunes here, but there's really, like, no defense against those AVs back there. Uh-oh, railguns are kind of dropping here as well. Oh, dear. Oh gosh, okay. Det packs get dodged by the skims there. Oh, they're taking so much damage here though, they should really back away. Main base speed wall in shambles. Although we do have a couple of heavy railguns, but they need to position well in order to not die there. Ah, oh, so many Sandskimmers died. That's really bad. Extraction comes out though, like I said, I could use a base runner. There it is. Oh jeez, this is not good. And you can see I'm actually building salvagers on his main base now to just try and like stabilize, which is ridiculous. You know, this never happens, but there it is. Base runner really can't be idle right now, by the way. This is not good of me. But if we use the det packs here, we might be able to kill off these two. Ah, there's only 1 det pack available. Still, this guy will probably die. Lieutenant Commander Dan, that's even better. I disagree. I disagree greatly. Logistics module goes down here. That's always nice. I can kind of pick off my opponent's infrastructure. But now we're fighting this kind of weird battle. Like, it's not obvious what the fronts of this battle are. I need to bring the skims back, that's for sure. But, like, I'm denying my opponent's main base, and he's only denying my third. So this is actually, like, good for me for now. But it depends if I can hold the main, which right now it kind of looks like I can't. Sandskimmers find these two, though. They're gonna die. So this is kind of an intelligent pick here, because I know that they're low already. These guys have 6 det packs. We could go for it again, although I really don't have the money for that this time. Carrier system's gonna attack. I'm gonna try and attack my opponent's carrier now. See if maybe I can, like, accelerate this game. Oh no, these... Oh gosh, these railguns are in the worst possible position. Again, it's assault railguns that I need right here. Like, I know, but I don't build them. It's dumb. Even a couple missile ships built here just in case there was gonna be anti-air, but that feels a little dumb now. There's an assault railgun, but it's a little bit too late, huh? I should really dead pack this guy. He's on 2 health. And meanwhile, on the other side, like, this fight here is pretty important, because if I can, like, overpower my opponent's carrier and kill him here, maybe I could win just right off of this. Let's see if I'm able to do it, though. I mean, like, this really could, like, end the game. Oh, gosh. This is so scary. One of the PCs manages to evacuate, by the way. This is going to come up to the main base, so I've kind of had to give up my bases here. I'm just going to say, okay, I'll be mining off his main only. That's all I've got. Railgun manages to evade me, by the way. That's not good. I'll get this support cruiser kill, but I think that at this point I kind of need to back away. With this railgun here, it's too much danger on my carrier. I don't think I can stay there anymore. Can this PC survive too? No, it looks like he is sending a guy back to try and finish him off. This is good music. Second artifact comes out for me. You see I've built 2 base runners as well, so we're really going to try and focus on getting these extracts out now, because now it's getting a little bit dire. This is still a lot of, like, AVs, though, right? So the thing is, you know, AVs, like, they have their smoke. It's a little bit difficult to counter them in this kind of situation. And I mean, I really think the answer to this was obvious. It was just assault railguns, but I was a little too tunneled to build them, that's all. I like this base runner just like hiding in the corner, by the way. It hasn't been seen, amazingly, so... You know, I am on 2 artifacts. I mean, potentially if I could pick up 3 and extract them all, I could win the game like that, but... That seems a little bit unlikely. It's true. Yeah, it's true. Only 13 minutes left on the clock here, so... In fact, even a little bit less than that. Have you really got a set now? If I can deny the second base, I'm really ahead in eco. I had a suspicion that this was happening, though, during the game, and sure enough, it's true. He's actually mining off of my 3rd base now, so... I mean, look at the position on these bases, like, what is happening, you know? This is just such a weird situation to be in. This is not supposed to happen. I'm gonna make that the thumbnail for the game. I don't usually bother to actually, like, set the thumbnails, you know. Maybe that's something dumb of me. These railguns don't have mag excel, by the way, but they do have armor too, which makes them, I think, take an extra shot to kill, so it's kind of interesting. Man, it'd be so nice if those sandskimmers were still alive, though. It's like, that's what I really need. Lost just way too many of them, making some kind of questionable pushes. Would be nice if my bases were still alive too, to be fair. Player plays Deserts of Karak? What? I ran a Deserts of Karak tournament with prize money and this happened. Yeah, no, I'm not doing that. I hate clickbait, like, so much, you know, it's just like, it's like a personal, it's a personal thing, you know? I have standards to keep. This base runner is gonna die, sadly. Look at me, it's so greedy. I'm like actually trying to mine off of his 2nd as well. Like that was never gonna work, but... That's funny as heck. I do agree with that, yeah, it's just my crippling laziness prevents me from doing anything good like that. This is still no mag excel for him, by the way. If these rails get up on this high ground, they're gonna be able to attack, but here's the problem, is the AVs in the backline, so keep your eyes on what they're able to do. Smoke's getting set down already. Base runner heal, by the way, being so powerful right now. This is keeping these railguns alive, like... They just won't die here. Here's the AVs, though. They get up on top of you. Missile ship barrage used on some of them. Oh. One of the, all the railguns are dead now, though. Carrier's still powered up. I mean, we're gonna be able to clear out these AVs, but the railguns are dead, which means it's not easy for me to hold this flank anymore. Oh gosh. Yeah. I mean, that was just a beautiful surround. I think that this PC will live though, but it's pretty sad that the base runners are all dead. I guess actually what's pretty important is whether or not this railgun can survive, but it looks like it will for now. Coalition railguns would like to know your location though. Does he have mag excel yet? No. Look, I'm trying to rebuild the salvagers for this base. That's probably not gonna happen. Well, I don't know, actually these railguns are a little bit too close. I mean, this is the problem I had at the beginning of the game, is that it was so hard to... It was so hard to, like, push over this hill, you know? I don't think so. I mean, once you have railguns, it's really, really hard to get the kill on your opponent. Not to mention, the carrier's PD does 30 damage per shot, so actually getting the armor break is really significant, because... The Galzian carrier's armor is 20. I mean, it's kind of at that, it's kind of at that, like, that point where it takes damage from the PD, but not very much, and doing the armor break is, like, doubling its damage almost, so... It's really, really hard to fight when your opponent has railguns like that. 8 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock, so keep your eyes on that. I mean, potentially, there's a world where this could go to an artifact, but... Top 10 questions DOK still can't scientist. Base runner heal getting popped here. That's actually really nice because it's also going to heal up the carrier. No, that's not true. Because again, he already has the armor, the army that he can stop me from extracting them. I don't have the money for artifacts, and even if I did, I would not be able to extract all 3 of these. So that's the losing strategy. Right now, it's got to be all about trying to build for that last fight and just survive. You gotta play for your win condition, and that's kind of all I have is running the clock down. Oh, that's tragic. I think that the missile launcher here was getting line of sight blocked. Like, I could have rotated out and gotten a kill on that AAV. Oh well, it's probably not a big deal. yeah, the joint mining operation. Well, sometimes you'll actually see players in 3v3 get into this situation and they'll, like, debt pack each other and stuff, but... neither of us have the money for that, that's for sure. You know, we're spending everything the second it enters our wallet, right? Like, we don't have the money to spare for freaking debt packs against Salvagers, right? Let's see if the carrier can get back home in time for the AAV, by the way, but I think that it can. And you can see I'm building skims, too. I have, like, full upgrades on these things. Oh, that's not true. I don't have more damage. Ah. Anyway, my thought was that I can use these to fight the railguns, but really, like, in hindsight, this is not the play. I just need RUs, and I need to build heavy rails. Like, that's all I need, because it's gonna come down to, like, one last fight, try to just survive to run the clock down. And in order to do that, I need just as many railguns as I can get to fight my opponent, so... You know, I've got a bit of time here. I need to use that time to get railguns, not sand skimmers. So in hindsight, that's a big mistake. Third artifact extracts. This carrier is really powered up. Yeah, you do, which is insane. Looks like these guys are gonna come home for now, though. Also, it's worth noting, and yes, this will be important later, on Canyon Outpost, the carrier can drive through here, but it can't drive through here. It looks like it can, but it's like this spot right here, you won't be able to find like a path through or something. So that turns out to be pretty important. Base runner gonna get denied here, by the way. This is what I was saying about trying to just win by the extractions. It can't be done. This army is gonna be in position for it. And I decide, okay, if AGame's carrier is not there, then I need to interact with him right now. Maybe try and step on that army. So here come the sand skimmers. Yeah, that might be true. I mean, I guess we're watching the replay now, so we'll be able to say. Hey look, mag accelerator! Good job, A-Game. You found the button. I mean, it is kind of astounding though, isn't it, that like this whole game, there's just been no mag accel tech on these railguns, but that's gonna change now. Carrier shows up here, but this is 5 railguns. I've got a lot of speed. I mean, maybe I can get up on top of these things, but it's not going to be easy. Yeah, and it looks like that's not going to work. So you see I'm powering up the speed here, trying to get away. No, it's not true. I didn't have any RUs, right? I mean, how could I have built any base runners? I'm telling you, Phoenix, you gotta turn your brain on. 5 minutes left on the clock, by the way. And yeah, now I'm building heavy rails, but I mean, I think really, like, here, these sand skimmers just don't do enough. Like, they need to be... Like, that money needs to be invested in railguns. And if my idea is to run out the clock, I really shouldn't stay in the lobe here. I should keep my carrier out on that side so that I can keep running. Couple of AEVs on the backstab, by the way. This is where the skims might actually be useful, because if the railgun can get the armor break, then I can just kill them off. Base Runner comes out and picks up this artifact too. Keep your eyes on this, because the artifacts respawn every, like, 3 minutes or something like that. Really, really tight window for Agan to pick this up now. And the way that the timer works, if he can extract 2 and be holding 1, then he can go into sudden, like, stay tied in sudden death, but... Yeah, I do agree it's maybe a little bit too early, but it's still pretty nice to get this. This is going to make the window really tight for A-Game. This basically says, okay, you have to kill me in 3 minutes, and if you don't, the game's going to be over. But again, we're up in this choke point here. We can't go around on the side, so there's no running away here. So we're going to have to take this fight. And we're going to have to take this fight with 2 railguns and 8 sand skimmers. Now, this is going to be tough, but we do have Base Runner heal. Ah, yeah, that's actually really clever. That is what I should have done. Oh man, I powered down the rockets right before I was able to actually get some shots off there. I feel like I'm not playing this fight terribly well. Oh no, the base runner's not there for the heal either. Ah! That's not good. Mag Excel's done too, by the way, so that is going to go down. Yeah, like I said, these skims just are not really paying off at all. There's another heavy railgun here, but there's only 1. He's got like 8, so that's going to be rough. 2.5 minutes on the clock now. This makes me kind of stressful even just watching it. I mean, I already know how it ends, but... You can see I'm just kind of spamming base runners now. This is for, like, the heal on the carrier. Sand skimmers run through now. But again, I mean, there's too many AAVs here. I think these skims were really quite a mistake. And that's not even to mention, A-Game has armor 2. He might even have gotten armor 3 if he wanted to. So, you know, it's really hard to actually, like, do anything with those skims. I think if they were invested in rails, it would have been better. I've said it like 20 times now, but it's because I keep thinking about it. No, the goal is to survive, right? There's still 1.5 minutes on the clock here. Yeah, look at that. That's pretty clever. Like I'm saying, I think that the carrier needs to be, like, over here, right? And then it can sort of run away. Like, I can sort of hide forever there. Artifact is here. Oh, the base runner died, though. Oh, no. Actually, A-Game is probably going to be able to pick that one up. Uh-oh. I guess it's like 2.5 minutes before the artifact spawns. And that's a lot of railguns, man. Looks like power is in the speed now. I'm just going to try and run through. But it's true, A-Game has his carrier here. And he's powering up the weapons. He knows. He knows what he wants here. 60 seconds now, the time window, but this carrier just can't escape. I mean, how crazy is this, though? This is the ace match of the finals. And the carrier does go down. A-Game wins with 45 seconds left on the clock. I mean, man, that is just insane, you know? I can't get over how crazy that is. Man. Yeah, definitely, like, my base runner should have picked this up, though. And then, like, maybe there's thoughts of buying time over here, but certainly the carrier should have been out on this side. I think, actually, this was maybe winnable, but I don't know. I'll tell you what, it's not often players get in this scenario, so... But man, what a freaking game. I was pretty pleased with this finals. By the way, if we get in a potential situation where A-Game is carrying this artifact, because again, if you have the scoreline off by 1 and you're carrying some number of artifacts, you can keep the scoreline even. At that point, like, let's say the timer runs out, my carrier's over here, I'm guarding the extraction zone, and he's got this. I think the play for A-Game is to, like, keep your entire army just guarding the base runner, and then wait until more of them spawn and pick them up so that you can risk losing this. And then you can come down with the army, try and extract it, and if you lose the artifact, then you'll probably kill the carrier. But yeah, what a crazy game, man. I'll tell you what, this series, I think, is a good demonstration of what assault railguns could do if you were worth building them. Or if you were mindful enough to build them. Oh man, what a crazy freaking game, though. What a crazy game. And again, the idea is not to build army to survive, it's just to build enough army to delay for time, right? But yeah, it's not every DOK game that runs out the clock, though. Anyway, I really hope you guys enjoyed watching, because I can't think of a better series to show you. And I guess I'll see you guys in the next one. We might have some lower bracket games to cast, but not today, certainly. All in all, though, I'm pretty pleased with this finals. This might be the best finals I've ever played. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you in the next one.